I'm talking to you, probably have a great idea, and I think you should turn it into a reality. And you know what? Squarespace can help you do that. They make it easier than ever to launch whatever your passion project is. I'm sure you got one, or you're thinking about getting one, and when you get one, they're going to help you out with it. Do you want to showcase your work? Do you want to sell products of any kind? They can help you with beautiful templates and the ability to customize just about anything, so you can easily make a beautiful website by yourself. But if you get stuck, guess what? They have a 24/7 award-winning customer support system that's there to help you out. Go to squarespace.com/grace for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use that offer code GRACE. Save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. I dare you.
Not too deep.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Not Too Deep. I'm your host, Grace Helbig. I'm very excited for you to listen and watch today's episode with NAOMI EKPERIGIN, or as you might know her, Blackdress or Blackdress Comedy on Twitter and Instagram. She is so wonderful. I can't get over how lovely of a conversation it was to have with her. We talk about her trials, tribulations, successes and failures, all surrounding Trader Joe's, and hopefully a future sponsorship that Trader Joe's offers her, because she's, Mr. Joe, doing you a huge service. We also talk about her entering into comedy, improv, stand-up. What did that look like for her? And how she's truly handling the pandemic, as she has so wonderfully nicknamed it. Also, she's given me true, valid, pure reason to start watching Buffy, for someone that hasn't dipped my toe in that soap opera is it about vampires? Forget the last part, but this is a really great conversation. Enjoy NAOMI on Not Too Deep.
Not too deep. Not too deep. With Grace Helbig.
NAOMI, thank you for being here. You are truly a queen of many things, but in particular, one of my favorite things is your ability to nickname really tragic events in a very cute way. The fact that you say pandemic every time gets me. I love it. It makes it much more palatable, I think.
Yes, we're trying to add a sense of whimsy to the crumbling feeling.
Yes.
Yeah.
My other question, concern, thought is, has Trader Joe's reached out to sponsor you in any type of way at this point?
Grace, after everything I have said about them, okay, as an institution, as a place where I go for sustenance, I haven't heard a goddamn word. I haven't heard a goddamn word.
Really?
No.
Because you've recently had a very engaging saga happen in your home. How did it? Can you explain to people that don't know what has transpired? What happened?
Yes, I will relive it for you, because I do consider this to be a safe space.
Okay,
a safe
great.
space where I can process. So, I am really like taking the cocoa very seriously. Okay. And I'm not leaving the house. I'm like, me and my fiance, we go grocery shopping like once a month, like out to the store. And
That's
that store is Trader Joe's. Thank you. And we have to go to TJ's, because that is like the one place that refuses to Instacart or deliver or curbside pickup. And I need my cereals. Okay. I'm very brand loyal to cereals. So we go. And when we go, it's a big deal. Trader Joe's, look, even before a pandemic, the place was lawless. Okay. Because we're all there because we're broke but want to be healthy. So it's like both an entitled but a scrappy group.
Yes,
that goes to TJ's. You know what I mean?
Can you imagine? I just think of the musical Rent, if it was written now, would incorporate a scene in Trader Joe's at some point.
Yes. Literally, yes. Seasons of hummus in the Trader Joe's aisle. Like, that's what it would be.
Yes, 100%.
I would be Joanne. Okay. So we go, and it's like packed, and we go with a list. We want to get in and out. And again, because it's once a month, I mean, we're loading up. We each get a cart. And it's like,
you prepared.
Honey, I'm like, you take frozen, I'm getting the produce. And so we have a whole system. So we get everything, get out, and like you come home with everything. And then, of course, you got to disinfect it. All right. You got to wipe it down. You got to wash the veggies. It's a process. It's a process. So by the time that happens, like we went shopping at 11 a.m., we're done by 2 doing all that. And then at 5 p.m., our electricity goes out.
No.
When I tell you this is the most full our fridge and freezer had been like in a month, you know what I mean? Like it was just like laughable, the Tetris we had to do to fit everything. We were
and
like,
you're looking
whew.
at it like this is opulence. Like we have
Yes.
provided for ourselves. We've hunted and gathered at the same time.
Yes. I was like, we are thriving.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Do you know we've got 2 flavors of Greek yogurt? Okay. Coming through with soft cheeses. A brie, baby. A Mott's, baby. Give me some Monty Jack. Parmesan. We're going from soft to hard. We've got a whole fucking cheese array. And so when that power went out, dude, it was like, and we literally were just like, okay, like it'll come back. It'll come back.
Yeah. This is the
It'll
test.
come back.
Uh-huh.
No. It was, and we looked online and it said you had 4 hours for like dairy in particular.
Right. Oh, wait. So you went online and you looked up how long can these items last without refrigeration? Okay.
Yes. Like if the electricity, how long? And of course, it was like, don't open the fridge, don't open the freezer, let it all hold the cold. And it said 4 hours. So we were like, okay. Well, don't worry. Don't worry till hour 4. Don't worry. I'm in my upper register.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, luckily, the water and power, they came within the hour.
Okay.
So this happened at 5. They were there by 6. So we're like, okay, getting handled. The electricity did not come back on until 1:30 a.m.
A.m.
Yes. So that was 8.5 hours, girl.
Oh, no.
And they were working on it the whole time. Like at one point, because like literally there was a point at which one truck comes, then a second truck comes, then the second truck leaves and a third truck comes. It was like one of those, like, we're going to need a bigger boat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like, and I was like, oh shit. Oh no, what's happening? And so, we were very, very like, to get that haul and to get that stuff. And also stuff like this happens, of course, but it's like we already in a goddamn pandemic.
But the stuff like this shouldn't happen day 110 in a pandemic when you've done your responsible due diligence of, spacing out your trips every 30 to 40 days. Like you're not going every day. Yeah, that is wild.
It was rough.
So all the power, everything's working, everything's okay now.
Yes.
Did you lose any?
Okay, this was it. So I am more inclined to just take a bite of cheese and see what happens to my butt.
Yeah, at this point, you guys you know each other well enough. You've been stuck with each other well enough that you can take a chance.
Yeah. Whereas Andy, my betrothed, he's like, I'm not willing to. He's like, I don't want to. Like, I can't even risk being physically uncomfortable. There's like already too much going on.
Yeah.
So yesterday I did have a little bit of that brie with some crackers. So far, so good.
Okay. So you've become your own science experiment, basically, at this point.
Aren't we all doctors at this point?
100%.
With everything we've been reading, I'm always like, the viral load and how fast does it travel indoors? It's like...
And then the dogs can get it, maybe, I guess, or supposedly. Who knows?
No.
I know. Well, you have a sweet, sweet pup, Mabel.
Wow. Grace, for you to just come in here and know the name of my daughter.
I've done a lot of research. I've done like a very kind of borderline stalkerish amount of research on you.
Ooh.
So, but Mabel is such a sweetie. Can I ask the origin story of Mabel?
So we have not even had her a year yet.
Okay.
We got her August 30th of last year.
Okay.
We already had 2 cats, and the cats were Andy's when we first got together.
Mm-hmm.
And I love cats. I love animals, but I think we moved to LA about 3 years ago, and I was like, I want one that's mine.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the cats are his, and I want an animal that loves me.
Of course.
And then LA, is so sunny and warm. It makes it seem easy to have a dog.
Right.
So so last year I was like, come on, let's do it. We moved into an apartment we like, we feel like we have a little more room. And it was like, I'm ready. I'm ready to be a mother. And so we went and we had to do a whole thing because again, we have the cat. So we went to Lang Foundation. Shout out to Lang Foundation.
Okay.
They are a rescue and they will do cat testing. So if you want a dog, they also have cats and they will we're like, hey, we have cats. Can we see how this dog goes? They will bring their dog into a room with a bunch of their cats.
I've never heard of that before. That's super cool.
Yeah. So it was funny because they were like, she didn't fail, but she didn't, the perfect response is a dog who does not care. Right. Ideally, the dog literally just like lets the cats kind of roam around him. Mabel, she didn't want to fight. She didn't start anything, but she was very into sniffing their butts in a way that was invasive.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, you can't do that in 2019, honey.
Honey, you can't. You have to, okay? You have got to believe cats. And so when we brought her home, we did a whole dramatic, like, for a month, they were not in the same place. Like, she lived in our bedroom for a month.
So she didn't even know that they existed, or like kind of could tell? They
smell each other, right? Like, they can sense it. Something's going down. And then we would, like, slowly let them see each other through a gate and stuff. We bought a baby gate. A baby gate. I told you, I'm a mother.
That's great.
And so now, so far, so good. Like, like she doesn't do anything. She is like a narc. I do believe Mabel would work for the police because if anything is happening, like if the cats are wrestling or even if Andy and I like are kissing, she will bark. She like comes over and barks like, break it up.
So she's like a professional chaperone.
Yeah.
She's like a middle school dance chaperone, like 6 feet, 6 feet. Keep your distance.
Oh my gosh. Should I start calling her Sister Mary Mabel?
Oh,
she's like a nun.
It's obvious. So okay, you in your stand up you talk about Andy a lot. You guys have obviously a very beautiful relationship. And you guys host a podcast together. What was the crossing of the line of being like, we both are comedians, we both do our thing, let's work together now?
Oh girl. What was the crossing? The crossing of the line is living together and talking about everything.
Yeah.
So you know what'll happen with like just any like comedy friends or creative friends? You know how it's like y'all talk about something and it's like, should we do this together?
Yeah.
Or like, this is both of our idea, I guess. Like that's kind of how it happened in a way, because Couples Therapy started as a live show. On the pod, we have comics who are close, do sets together. And that was a live version. Now, of course, in quarantine, we're doing interviews, we're answering relationship questions. It's like, I love it. I'm like, I also really appreciate the podcast more now because it's my way to interact with humans.
Yeah.
I don't know if you feel that. If you're like, people.
100%. Like being able to have this conversation and this Zoom like interaction, like I'll be fine for the rest of the week now. Like I'll be good. I have my socializing down today.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so basically we started as a live show because we realized, we know a lot of comics and people who are like a couple or not. And we tried it. And then I feel like the decision to be a podcast is you moved to LA, and I don't know about you, but when I moved here, I received a letter from the Los Angeles Podcast Council saying I had 180 days to establish my podcast.
Yeah, this is very true. Very true.
So we were like, we got to do something. We got to do something before they kick us out.
You guys also, you stream on Twitch, right? While you podcast?
Yes, every Wednesday at 2:00 Pacific. We just do like an hour. Sometimes we'll have, duos, kind of like a live show. But then a lot of times it's just me and Andy, and it's really fun. We have a lot of people watch, like we're the CTQC, which is the Couples Therapy Quarantine Crew.
So it's like,
we literally like people every week, and it's like, and people in the chat talk to each other like they're friends now.
Oh,
and
that's like, great.
It's
like an actual community. That's really sweet.
I know.
And so how, so you work in entertainment, comedian, actress, you've been doing a lot of wonderful things. In quarantine, what is like, if there is a regular day like for you guys?
Oh, great.
I know.
Oh, great.
Well, this is me secretly just wanting to hear what other people are doing so I don't feel so fucking alone and weird.
I'll be honest with you, okay?
Okay.
Space. Now, all right. So 9:30, I wake up. No matter what time I've gone to bed, I now have this internal clock from having the dog. I get up, I do the morning walks. So I get up, I take her out. Luckily, it feels like in quarantine, she's become a lazy girl.
Okay.
We used to do a 20, 30-minute walk in the morning. Now she goes to one end of the block, does her business. We come back, she sits on the stoop. Girl, I'm into you.
I appreciate the efficiency.
So efficient in the morning. So then, we sit out 15 minutes, come back in, feed her, take your Lexapro, take your Wellbutrin. Then really, I'm hungry. I wake up so hungry. And then I'll usually either have my Trader Joe's vanilla almond, just the cluster cereal. All right. A real hearty bowl, hearty bowl. And then usually, honey, that'll take a lot out of me. All right. Just eating that, digesting that.
Yeah.
Now you go back to bed. All right. So now you're at about 10:30 and you want to just lay down. All right.
I think that's a wildly overlooked, but like deeply important thing to do is to have a late morning lie down.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I see you.
You are seeing me. For holding me in awareness. And then that'll bring us 12:31, at which point, sure. Write a little something, whether that be an email or a tweet or or a strongly worded Yelp review. Just get the juices flowing.
The fingers going. Yeah.
Get the fingers going. And then I don't know, it's not the same. I have been writing some stuff. So, if I'm like, okay, I want to get this done. I've accepted. I work in short bursts, I can't beat myself up because I'm like, you didn't finish today. I do way better in short bursts. I don't know about you. You've written a book. What was your,
that's the same thing. I work the same way, and I'm happy to hear you say that if Mamrie and I always talk about how we work on reward-based systems of if I work for 1 hour straight, I can watch this garbage television show for 45 minutes and then I can go back. But I have to recognize that I cannot work consistently throughout the course of a day. I have to work, like you said, in small bursts.
Yes. So I'm going to work myself up to it. So now I've started to accept, okay, you know what, you gotta ramp into it. You gotta power up. Then you power down. So I'm just zigzagging, honey. I'm zigzagging. And then around 3 or 4, that's when I come to Andy and I go, what are we having for dinner? You know what I mean? And that's it. That's if I'm being good, waiting until 3 or 4. Normally, honey, I wake up and I'm like, what are we having for dinner? And work backwards. I work backwards calorically, health, nutritionally. And then I usually 5 or 6ish, right? We walk the dog again, and that's a long walk. It's cool outside. I'm like, oh, nature, humanity, wonderful. And then, honey, I come back, if that's 6:30, I'm like, you done your best. That's your full day. You're off the clock.
100%.
I don't work at night. Night. I'm not a night out. I stay up, but I'm not I don't have creative juices at midnight.
Right.
As some people do.
Totally.
So,
no, that's what I used to be, that kind of person that I would think that the late afternoon to night is where I got my best ideas, and I could work because I'm my own boss and I work from home. So regular work schedule doesn't apply to me. And so I can do it. But now, same with you, I have to get it done early in the day. And then by 5 or 6, I'm like, we did a day. We deserve a night. How wonderful.
You clock out. You got to clock out at 5:30.
100%. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, I have so many questions about you. You've had braces twice. And I need to know about your relationship with social media because I think it's really beautiful and people need to know about it. So we'll be right back with more Not Too Deep.
Not too deep. With Grace Helbig.
You're damn right we have support from Squarespace today because I'm sure you have a dream that you'd like to turn into a reality, and they can help you out with that. They make it easier than ever to launch your passion project or your quarantine project. We all got one, I'm sure. Do you want to start a new business? Do you want to showcase your work? Do you want to publish some content? Do you want to sell some products or more? Squarespace is the tool for you. They have beautiful templates created by world-class designers and the ability to customize just about anything. It's true. Just about anything. With a few clicks, you can easily make a beautiful website by yourself. And they have powerful e-commerce functionality that lets you sell anything online, make that money, and analytics that will help you grow your site in real time. Everything is optimized for mobile right out of the box. There's nothing to patch or upgrade ever. Don't know what that means, but you don't have to know what it means because you don't have to do it. And if you do need help, you can get it from their 24/7 award-winning customer support. They empower millions of people, designers, lawyers, artists, games, restaurants, gyms. They help them all turn great ideas into something real. And now they can help you if you go to squarespace.com/grace for a free trial. And when you are ready to launch, use the offer code GRACE to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/grace, offer code GRACE. Okay, let's jump back into it.
Okay.
You've had braces twice.
That is a fact.
How, why, when?
Okay, honey. All right, the first time.
And if this is a sensitive subject, we can move on, but
Grace,
I only saw this.
Honey,
Okay.
I'm 36, still wearing a retainer. This is not sensitive. So the first time I had braces was, I think at 5th grade I started. It's like 5th or 6th grade. I had them for 3 years, 8 months, and 20 days. A thing you remember when you're 13, you know?
Oh, I wanted braces so bad when I would go to the dentist and they would do like the whatever x-rays of your teeth.
Yeah.
I would push my top teeth over my bottom teeth so hard so that I think he would say that I had an overbite, and I never got him. But yeah.
So I'm so sorry your teeth are perfect.
It's all bullshit. But yeah, no, I thought they were so cool. I loved accessories when I was younger, and I thought that was like the most beautiful accessory that
you wanted like sparkly rubber bands over them, like the kids who would do that, like rubber bands.
100%. I wanted the orange and black for Halloween colors. Yes. I wanted all of it. Yeah.
I hated them always. I was never whimsical. I was just literally get them off. But the reason why I remember it took so long the first time is because this orthodontist, his whole thing was accelerated orthodontics, meaning you would not have them as long as normal. And then I had them damn near 4 years.
Yeah, that seems wrong as a theory.
Penny, I was livid. And then, so that was 8th grade, I got them off. And then junior year of college, I had them junior and senior year. I had them for another 2 years.
Wow.
And that was, you know what I mean? And it was like, honey, this ain't a fashion show. You know what I mean? Like it was humbling.
Yeah.
And even when I had them after graduation. So my first job out of college, I'm on stage in braces.
Wow.
People are how old are you?
But that's very character building, I imagine. You have to create a confidence to do that.
No. It's why it's what as I said, it keeps you humble. It keeps a nice low level self-loathing that that encourages you to keep trying. It encourages you to keep trying.
So to tangent off of this a little bit, comedy. At what point, or was there a point that you found it interesting, or that you thought, this is something I want to do? I don't know if it's going to be a professional doing of this, but at what point in your life were you this? I like laughing. I want people to laugh.
It's interesting because I definitely didn't know how you made it a job. People TV was like a magical box. It's I don't know how you get in there. I really didn't. It was just I was obsessed with it. I was into it. I would say I was a child of the 90s where there were a lot of Black TV shows. You know what I mean? If you remember, so I very much was I want to be an actor, and I saw that. So I think it was definitely acting before comedy.
Right.
Because I still didn't really know. And then it was when I got to college, I was in an improv group. I did college, and that was my first time doing improv. I didn't really know. And when you get to college and you're I'm going to reinvent myself, So it was and it was that first, month of school, and people they're you're funny, you should try out for improv, and I was okay, that's me now. And I went, and I didn't make it my freshman year, but I got a call back, and it was and what I remember so distinctly, why I was oh, I got to do this was, you go in, you do your scene or whatever, and then they call the next people, and we left, and I heard them laughing and re-saying what I had just said in the scene.
Oh, that's cool.
And that hit me. I was can that happen? Can we make people do that?
Yeah. That's so cool.
And that's when I was okay, I want to do this. And so it really kind of started through improv. And then in doing improv, you did improv, right, Grace?
Yeah, I did at the People's Improv Theater in New York. Yeah.
So it's I don't know about you, it was and doing improv, I was I don't need all these people here. It's like I had to learn. I had to see a group. I had to be in a group setting to be like, oh, no. I'm a solo artist.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I got into stand-up. And, being from New York, I mean, it basically started, bar shows and, open mics and stuff.
Yeah, I saw a Throwback Thursday photo, I think, of like your first open mic was in California.
Here. I know. It was here of all places in 2006.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I was visiting a friend who lived here. Mm-hmm. And I tend to do that. Like when I travel or when I'm away from home, I'll take risks because my thinking is if I crash and burn, I'll never be here again. You know what I mean?
That Mamrie and I have, when we first met, we also dabbled with the idea of doing stand-up. It's so intimidating to me, but we always said we were going to go to New Jersey and do like an open mic in New Jersey because no one would know how awful we were.
Yes. Exactly.
So I get that. I get that mentality. Yeah.
You get it. So my whole thing was, we were there in LA and I was like, and that's literally the thing I asked. I was like, I just want to go to one open mic. I asked her, like, can we do that? And, my thinking was I'll finally bite the bullet. And then if it sucks, honey, pack a bag, get on a jet plane. Yeah. So that was the first time. And it wasn't that bad. It was, I got some laughs. Again, it was like barely an audience. I got some laughs, but I do remember the host, like, because we stayed for the show again, in your early days, you're like, do I stay for the whole thing?
Right.
I didn't know any better.
Decorum here? I don't
know. Exactly. Yeah. What's the decorum? I'm like, I'm really hungry, but I'll stay. And I remember the host like saying, he's like up there and he's like, oh, she was funny, like pointing at me. And it was like, okay. Wasn't like some big old, it's like, it wasn't like a fucking standing ovation, thunderous applause, but it was enough to know like, you can try this and it won't kill you. And like, you might have a little something.
Totally. That's very cool. And also just very, I think, inspiring whenever, if ever, stand-up comedy comes back for people to dip their toe in. When it comes back. Absolutely. Okay. In quarantine, we've all had to adapt. We've all had to adjust. And your relationship with social media, I think, is so beautiful and wonderful and effortless. What is your favorite? It's great because I've been doing this for like 10 years, but I still like freeze up a lot on social media because it's so inundating. But like, what's your favorite social media platform? Like when you open your phone, what's the first thing that you were kind of like unconsciously checking on?
Now it's Instagram. And it definitely wasn't just, I feel like initially, right, being a comic, it was all about Twitter. You got to do jokes. You got to do jokes. And I was never really that good at that. To me, I feel like I'm just more conversational. I couldn't really be pithy. Now we have like, 280 characters. I have a little more to work with. But I certainly could not give you the world in 140, And so it wasn't really my thing. And I felt like I don't know how to use this stuff. And then Insta came out. And then I was like, it feels weird knowing what somebody from college just ate for dinner. Like I thought it was too invasive. I thought it was invasive. I didn't know how to do it. And it's only, I feel like in quarantine that I've started to kind of like just say, fuck it. I feel like I'm calling myself very young and online. That's what I call myself now. I go, I'm young and online. Because I do videos now and I would have never before. But it's Insta because, right? As Twitter became more of a political platform, Insta, I can curate, honey. I can curate. I follow animal rescues. I follow babies.
Yeah, this is what I was going to ask. What is your if you have recommendations on what do you follow?
Okay, look, I love to, honey. I open it up. I need my social media to not make me feel like crap, right?
Yes.
So follow Mayday Rescue, Maeday, the cutest little dogs here in Los Angeles, honey.
Wonderful.
I follow Cat Lovers Club. Come on, what are they up to? What are they doing? I follow an array of zoos, Bronx Zoo, San Diego Zoo. The zoos are always having fun. Their Instagrams, I saw a lovely dolphin show, Grace.
I haven't even thought about that entire branch of Instagram. Thank you for letting me know.
You can watch a dolphin show at home. Sit in the house, watch a dolphin show. This is quarantine, baby. It's quarantine.
Okay, what are you guys watching on TV movies? Like, what's your go-to now? Are you binging anything?
So, I like terrible television. Okay.
Oh, me too.
No. You watch The Housewives. That's like quote unquote terrible, but there's a cultural conversation around it. I'm watching Shark Week, Grace. I'm watching Shark Week on Hulu.
Okay. Like old Shark Weeks?
Yes. Shark Week 2017, Shark Week 2018.
Amazing. Are you learning things? Is there
Oh my God.
takeaways?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because I also mostly I love true crime. And so I think my pivot to Shark Week in a way has been a pivot to nature's true crime. You know what I mean? To be watching Shark Week is to be watching predators at work. And that's just what I'm into. But I've also I like a lot of give me like a British procedural, like a mystery, like something. We're watching one on Netflix now called Giri Haji. It's like Japan and London. And Giri means duty and Haji means shame. And it's like a cop and he's got to get his brother who's working for the Yakuza and he's gone to London. And it's like, ooh,
wow.
The drama, the grittiness. You have to watch it.
And this is scripted.
Yes, and it's on Netflix. And it's just like, I like the British shows because they don't do as many episodes. You know what I mean? Like they get in and out.
Yeah.
It's 8 1-hour episodes. Like you watch the first episode, you feel like you've had a whole season worth of experience. You know, with everything that happens. I'm telling you, that's my new jam.
Okay,
you got to get into it.
Are you into like unsolved mysteries or things like that?
Grace.
Yeah.
I would like you to solve them. Watch them unsolved.
I know. There is a little bit of blue balls at the end of the episode because I want to wrap it up and I want to know that there's closure on this horrific experience that we've all gone through now.
I need closure. Like I don't watch, as a true crime, I feel like I'm always impressive on people. I don't watch true crime for gore. Like I'm not here to just hear about someone being hurt. It's more that I'm interested in the process of finding who did it. Like I'm very into the system, the justice system and cops and like what they do and what they don't do and all that kind of stuff.
100%.
So that's what I want to watch for. And there's nothing I hate more, especially some of my murder podcasts, honey.
Yeah.
I have this one podcast, right? Case File True Crime. Episodes are anywhere from 1 hour to like 2 hour 20. Okay.
Whoa. Okay.
And there's nothing I hate more than listening to an episode and figuring out in 2 fucking hours, they ain't found a bit. How the heck? You gotta tell me up top. Because that was a waste of my time.
Oh no. Yeah, that's horrible. At least unsolved mysteries, like you know what you're getting into. Like it's your fault if you think that this is gonna wrap up with a bow. If you like that kind of stuff, I would recommend Wrong Man. I don't know if it's on Stars, I think, but it's also on like Amazon Prime or wherever.
Okay.
And it's like this, it's like this ragtag group of like retired FBI interrogators and like cops and things. And they've been hired to investigate these, and they work, I think, in tandem with the Innocence Project. And they work to kind of reinvestigate these people that have been imprisoned. And it's like this team of Avengers, but they're doing like real world, like they're going to these small towns, they're talking to the cops that handled these cases, they're showing all the holes in the case, they're showing all the bad behavior of investigators and cops. It is so but it also a lot of the narratives don't wrap up well, but they do a great job of exposing all of like the missteps that happened in the actual like investigation, which is so wonderful. I love when people that are lazy and bad at their jobs get called out for it. It's very satisfying in these trying times to watch that happen. So I highly recommend that for you guys if you're looking for stuff.
Thank you. That's good, Grace. Thank you.
Of course, you're absolutely welcome. You guys have probably here's my question for you. So Couples Therapy is the live show turned podcast that you host with your husband?
Yeah. We've been together 10 years. So I will say husband interchangeably.
Okay. But, is there wedding plans or is this like...
totes. Okay. There are going to be wedding plans and then we have the Rona. Like literally March 5th, I looked at a venue in New York and I came back to LA and I was like, Andy, I think this is the one. And we were emailing and the lady, of course, was trying to get that down payment. And then as soon as I was like, we just got to wait. We can't even.
At least you didn't put the down payment down. So.
Exactly.
But there's stuff to look forward to as soon as all of this lifts.
Sure. We've all got a little something to look forward to.
Totally. But you guys have been giving out advice for couples in various forms. So I would wonder, what's your major piece of advice for these couples? The first couple
Okay.
is the Obamas.
Okay. My number one piece of advice to the Obamas is relax. All right. I think you both need to buy a pair of sweatpants. You need to sit on a couch for a solid 2 hours. I don't think they sit down for more than 15 minutes. I think that it would be good for them to just sink into each other. Just, honey, get a sectional lounge. Lounge.
I love
That's my advice.
Okay, what is your advice for Elon Musk and Grimes?
Stop it. Stop it. That's it. That's it.
That's perfect. Okay, last couple, Kermit and Miss Piggy.
Well, you know what? We often say believe women. However, I feel that Miss Piggy, she has to accept boundaries. She has to accept boundaries because she's beautiful. She has options. She doesn't have to chase it. Mm-hmm. Grace, I always say anyone worth your time will never have to be convinced. Okay, that's what I say.
That's beautiful advice.
And that, honey, is what I have to say for Miss Piggy. Yeah. I have to tell, honey. First of all, maybe change your last name. That might be affecting your self-esteem. All right.
Very fair.
And then just, find someone who is here for the thickness.
I love that. Okay, we're going to take one last break. When we get back, we have a bunch of Twitter questions for you that some are very real and wonderful, and some of them are not. So we'll be right back with more Not Too Deep.
Not too deep with Grace Helbig.
Today we have support from BetterHelp Online Counseling. We are living in extraordinary times, as you all know and have experienced. And if you are struggling with stress, anxiety, or depression, you are not alone, not even a little bit. BetterHelp offers online licensed professional counselors who are trained to listen and help. Their counselors specialize in many areas, including relationship conflict, anxiety, depression, loss, trauma, and more. And you'll securely connect with your counselor in a safe, confidential online environment. All you do is you fill out a questionnaire to help assess your needs, and you get matched with a counselor in under 48 hours. And from there, you can easily schedule secure video or phone sessions with your therapist, plus exchange unlimited messages. I have a bunch of friends who have used BetterHelp, and they love it. And the ability to exchange messages at any points that you are feeling the need to reach out is such a wonderful thing, such a bonus, such a great luxury to have with using BetterHelp. And if for any reason you're unhappy with your counselor, you can request a new one anytime at no additional charge. BetterHelp is an affordable option, and you guys will get 10% off your first month with the discount code GRACE. Join over 1 million people who are already using BetterHelp. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they're actually recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. Get started today at betterhelp.com/grace. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/grace to talk to a therapist online and get help. Okay, we're back in. Naomi, before we get to all these Twitter questions, I'm going to ask you the two questions I ask every single guest that is on the podcast. The first is, who, alive or dead, would you most want to throw cold spaghetti at?
Wow.
And spaghetti. And this is with the understanding that your answer can change on a regular basis, but it's today. Who in your mind is someone that you'd love to throw cold spaghetti at?
It's so interesting you say that. I hate to get political, but I really want to throw cold spaghetti on Kellyanne Conway. Yeah. There's something about her, even though she's not essential of a figure anymore, she still works my nerve.
It's wild. Yeah, there's something, there's so much effort put into being so evil that it's so unnerving to me.
Yes. And there's also just something about, the discomfort of cold spaghetti. Yes. But also is it assault? No, I'm off the hook. And that's what I like. That's what I like about it.
I'm with you. Okay. The other question that I ask every single guest on the podcast is to tell us your worst pants shitting story or close call, but you can only use 3 words or small phrases. So, for instance, mine is a college jogging front lawn.
Okay. Lexapro, side effects, laundry and unit.
Wow, we've definitely never heard those string of words for this answer. Paints a very specific picture. Thank you. I also love that you had them in mind immediately after the question was asked, because sometimes people are like, that's never happened to me. And I'm like,
well, Grace, it was
how?
somewhat recent.
Okay.
And I think that's why.
It's fresh. I get it.
It's fresh.
Okay, let's get to these Twitter questions.
Okay.
First one, favorite add-in to mac and cheese?
Oh, wow. Okay. Bacon, peas.
Bacon and peas.
Yes,
together.
in a way. Yes, I'm creating more of a,
Ooh.
if you think about it, a carbonara.
Yeah.
Right? That feel without the egg.
100%.
I love a bacon and a pea. Ooh.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, someone wants to know, ask her to just geek out about Buffy for a bit. Are you a big... Because I've never watched Buffy.
Grace.
I know. So I would ask you to explain to someone like me that's never dipped my toe in that pond, why I should.
Okay. Were you an angsty teen at all? Did you feel not understood? Did you have bigger dreams than your small town would let you have?
Yes, I felt like I was trapped in a small town. Yes.
Honey, you're a slayer. You're a slayer. We're all a slayer. And Buffy captures a moment in time. Now, to be fair, yes, I was watching it in 7th grade, right? Okay. So I do have an attachment. But Buffy is a story of a girl in a tiny town who has to face every hurdle you can imagine. And it's this also a perfect, I love, for me, that show is very, it is a genre meld, right? Because it's like fantasy / sci-fi-ish, right? But then really funny. And then also a real heavy drama. It pretty much takes the drama, it takes high school and all its angst and drama and just heightens it to the level of people being actual monsters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's high school on crack.
Wow.
High school terrifying.
Like the allegory is just like in your face of these. Okay, that's cool.
And it's fun and it's cute. And honestly, we're in quarantine, honey. What else are you doing? It has like 7 seasons.
My boyfriend just introduced me to Lost. I've never watched Lost before.
I've never watched Lost. Are you liking it?
It is a lot. They definitely are lost and they are not where they are supposed to be. But it is, it's wild to know that, I guess when it came out like 2003, 2004, crazy that like it was taken so seriously, and it is sci-fi-y, which I didn't realize at first. I thought it was just kind of, I don't know, adventure thriller-ish. But it's very like unapologetically soap opera-ish a bit, which is what I imagine Buffy to be. But
be soapy,
Okay. I mean, now is the time to catch up on all of these. Okay, someone wants to know, what is your favorite type of bean?
Type of bean?
Type of bean.
Wow. Huh.
Difficult question.
Refried?
Okay. That's a great answer. I'm with you.
Refried bean.
Have you ever eaten refried beans cold? Like straight from the can?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you haven't reached that level of depression.
Wow.
So, yeah. It's I mean, they're not the worst. They do the trick. Okay, someone wants to know, what book, show, or film do you just know you could have written 10 times better?
Huh.
Ooh.
Book, show, or film. That is tough.
That is tough. Or is there a book, show, or film that you, I guess I'll rephrase, wish that you could have been a part of writing?
Yeah, I wish I could have been a part of writing. You know what I love? And I mean, it's all kind of coming together a piece. Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Oh, Grace, honey.
So good. Okay. I'm getting a lot of great recommendations from this podcast.
You got it. Shaun of the Dead, to me, and especially when it came out, it was just so funny and good, and like the way it's shot and everything about it is like, I just wish I was there.
Yeah.
And then also the other thing, actually, I found another one that I was actually obsessed with, In the Heights, which is Lin-Manuel Miranda's musical.
Yeah.
And I went to his college and I'd seen it when, like, the prototype in the Heights, which is very different from what ended up on
Wow.
Broadway.
You saw it in the beta version.
I know. And like, but especially because like, I grew up in Harlem, and the way he talks about Washington Heights and Harlem, it just felt I just so connected with that, and like bringing that culture and that world to a Broadway stage. Like I remember when I saw it for the first time and I was just like crying, and it wasn't, it really was probably, I guess, what we would say at the time, like representation matters, right? Like it's like, I'm not Latinx, but I was like, that's my neighborhood. And to see all these people in an audience loving it and appreciating it. I was like, this is what we create to bridge the gap. Like,
that's beautiful.
God, it got me. Oh, yeah, those are my two.
Oh, that's good to know. And when you have an experience like that, unforgettable. Someone wants to know, what is your worst Corona Chronicles experience? And for people that don't know what Corona Chronicles are, can you explain?
This is just, I started doing Instagram stories, charting, the moment we got into quarantine. I said, what can I do? I'm never doing comedy again. What are my options? And then also just wanting to, I say it charts one woman's descent into madness as her roots grow out.
Yes.
All right. So if you really start from the beginning, because they are saved to highlights. Honey, Grace, I got a bang going. I got a nice bend. Here we are 130 days in. I'm not even showing you the shit. Okay. I'm giving you gypsy on the Atlantic City Pier realness. And so so the worst, like just things that happened, right, as we kind of go. I think the worst for me was when it was Pandemic Patty is what I'm calling her. And it was when I went to pick up like a CSA box, like of veggies and stuff from a local restaurant. And they have a whole system where it's like, you place your order, when it's ready, you drive up, you call them and you're like, I'm here. And then they will place your box outside, right?
Okay.
So no contact. So there are people outside standing and waiting. I'm staying in the car and I call, she goes, okay, we're getting your stuff. She's like, putting it out. I see her come and put it out. So I get out of my car. I walk to the box. Grace, this young white woman approaches me literally 2 inches from my damn face. And the rule is 6.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And she comes up. Also, she's not wearing a mask. So this is like before, like this is early days when it wasn't really mandated.
Sure.
But she comes in and she's like, in my face, she's like, excuse me, I think that's my box of stuff.
Oh,
now,
no.
Grace, not only do they say your name, like, out to the world, whoever, before they put it, there is a sign, like on the receipt, they have your name in big letters.
Right, yeah.
And it's also like, me, I'm Naomi E. And I never bother spelling my last name because I'm like, I don't feel like it. I'm tired.
Yeah.
But I do that because I'm like, there's no other Naomi E. You know what I mean? Like, there's no other E. So she came up and I and I'm so like thrown by someone being close to me that I just kind of jump back.
Yeah.
And then she opens, she lifts the top of the bag, like it's on top of the box, to look inside to see if those are her items.
Wow.
And then I just start pointing at the receipt where my name is.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to talk to her, but then I also didn't want to get close. So
look at it.
Yeah. And so I'm just pointing and I'm like, Naomi, me, Naomi, me.
Like you're talking to an animal at that point.
Fully. And that was the worst, because it was that moment where I was like, not simply okay, you're in my face and you're in my space, but it was also this moment of oh my God, am I afraid of people now? You know what I mean? Are we at the point in this where I'm afraid of other humans being nearby?
100%. Yeah. I question the dissolving of all of my social skills that I've worked so hard to get over the years that are fully gone.
I know. The podcast is helping though, right? It's helping you look people in the eye and
totally remember
what sentences sound like out loud.
Right. I mean, I would say that you won that interaction in terms of the right thing for a human being to do. Okay. Matthew says, I love Naomi. Ask her what are the 3 things that Jubu does that make her laugh the most?
Okay. That's so funny. So what makes me laugh was Andy, you know how like when you get in a relationship and you start to just like do stupid stuff with each other, you
You're
know, right?
comfortable. Yeah.
Yes. And like, especially I think because we are like, I'd say like over 10 years, I have like turned Andy into a strong Black woman. And like the thing that will always make me laugh, like if I'm saying something or doing something, and usually it's because I'm like not letting him finish. I tend to interrupt him and I'll be like, I know what you're going to say, right? And he goes, and it kills me. He goes, girl. And he says, like, he really like he like girls me to get me to stop.
He has sass.
Yes. And it cracks me up every time. Like when he goes, girl, I'm not finished. And I'm like, okay, fair. Okay, fair. Go ahead. So that definitely kills me at all times. And then he will often talk to the animals as though they can understand him. And that I find very, that tickles me. That really tickles me. Yeah. At one point, I remember this. He goes, and he said it dead serious. Like he didn't realize it when he said it. Because like the cat like knocked something off the desk. You know how sometimes they'll just like bat something, He like knocked over like a cup of Kent or something stupid. And I was like, and I'm like, Andy, he's not supposed to be on the desk. And Andy goes, I told him not to. And I looked at him, I go, you told the animal and you thought he understood you. Like
amazing.
Those are my two. And then of course, whenever like, I don't know, what does crack me up? I don't know. Those two are pretty dang good.
Those are great.
Thank you.
Okay, here's the last question. Ambrose said that you're his favorite and wants to know advice on a friendship becoming romantic.
Ooh.
Were you and your Jubu friends first?
We were not super long, like maybe 6 months, a little less, but yeah, we were definitely friends. It was interesting because I definitely didn't think he was interested in me because he was at the time very repressed. I've now pulled his heart out and now we can both look at it and talk about it, But at the time he was very buttoned up. So I didn't know. And so I definitely didn't like flirt. Like I didn't talk to him thinking I was trying to make something happen. But I think the way if you're trying to make it happen, I think it's about like a little physical affection. You know what I mean? Like a little taking of the hand, a little lower back touch. You want them to like, you're trying to like connect those wires. You know what I mean? Like your friend is sensual. You want to just really make that connection. Now, if you're already together and it's like, okay, what are we doing? It feels like we're being too friendly. I think it's like one of the things I feel like I had to stop doing. I like to tease people and roast them. And I realized that like when you're trying to be romantic, you have to like stop that at some point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
People are sensitive to it. And I same thing that I see that as like a sign of affection if I'm making fun of you, but a lot of people don't see it that way. It's important to learn.
They have to learn. And especially I think at least I found like guys, like cis het dudes, like when it's coming from a woman and they're like, wait a minute, I'm upended by this.
Yeah.
And you have to be like, it's like, you're pretty, I like you. Relax.
Totally. I think that's great advice. And like very sincere, very authentic, and very helpful.
Grace, you are very affirming. I wish you were a therapist.
Girl, me too. I would save money on buying my own. Naomi, this has been so wonderful. Thank you for talking with us today.
Thank you.
Before you leave, usually when we do the podcast in person, we give our guest a personalized fortune cookie for making time for us. But because we're doing it digitally, we have a digital fortune cookie that I believe Melissa sent to your email.
Yes, and I don't want to close our Zoom on my phone. So I'm going to go to this other thing. You're traveling. We're traveling.
We're moving. We're love it.
We're moving. I'm going to like get this up. I want to see my Digi fortune cookie.
I love.
Okay. We believe that your commentary on local children's dance recitals should become not just a regular, but public performance. One fortune cookie is guaranteed to subscribe and support on Patreon for very little money.
Yes. Yes,
Wow.
I would sign up for the Patreon of you watching videos of young women's dance recitals and reviewing them for everyone. It's wonderful.
Thank you so much. I do have a lot of hot takes. I am invested. I'm invested in child stars.
Love it.
Children, like when I can sense too that they're bringing a professionalism,
Yes.
I'm going to give them a professional critique.
Yes.
Yes. Okay?
Treat them like the adults that they are.
Treat them like the adults they want to be.
I love it. Naomi, thank you so much. Where can people find everything that you're working on, everything that you're doing if they don't already know?
If you enjoy laughter and fun combos like this, come to Couples Therapy Podcast, couplestherapypod.com. There are a couple other podcasts with the title. Go with the picture that looks kind of like me and Andy. And Instagram is my new safe space. So you can come to Instagram.com at Blacktress Comedy. Now, guys, I used to have a day job. I had to be on the low, hence Blacktress Comedy. But come, we talk, we live, we laugh, we love.
We love it. Make sure, please check out everything that Naomi is doing. It is wonderful. It's a beautiful light in these weird, dark times. I appreciate it so, so much. And thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. This was so fun.
Thank you for talking to me. You were just too great, Grace.
Oh,
this was good for us.
This is very good for us.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next time on another episode of Not Too Deep. Goodbye.
Too deep, too deep, too deep, not too deep with Grace Helbig.
Not Too Deep is a production of Grace Helbig Incorporated, producer Melissa D. Montz, edited by Shireen Lani Yunus, post-production sound by Chris Henry, and an extra special thanks to Flula for the theme music.